The calendar may say 2019, but the political world is already focused on 2020. Today, Julian Castro became the first Texas Democrat to announce he's running for president. Political reporter Jack Fink now on Castro's priorities in the expected crowded race.
Joined by his wife and 2 children, Democrat Julian Castro told supporters after serving 3 terms as San Antonio mayor and HUD secretary for President Obama, he's ready for a bigger stage.
I am a candidate for President of the United States of America. I'm running for president because it's time for new leadership, because it's time for new energy.
Castro criticized President Trump and his call to build a wall or barrier along the southern border.
The president called it a national security crisis. Well, there is a crisis today. It's a crisis of leadership. Donald Trump has failed to uphold the values of our great nation. We say no to building a wall and yes to building community.
Standing in the West Side San Antonio neighborhood where he grew up, Castro also talked about his legacy as mayor.
Here in San Antonio, I made pre-K for SA happen. As president, I'll make pre-K for the USA happen.
He is the first Texas Democrat to run. Former El Paso Congressman Beto O'Rourke, who lost a close Senate race, is also considering running for president in 2020. SMU political science professor Cal Jilson says Castro has work to do.
And I think that O'Rourke has some early energy, and Castro is going to have to gain some momentum.
Jilson says there could be as many as 24 Democrats running in the primary.
What does Julian Castro have to do to separate himself from the rest of the field?
Well, I think people who look at Castro will see a legitimate candidate. They'll see an attractive personality with some real accomplishments. What they'll wonder, does he have the grit? Does he have the backbone? Does he have the rhetorical skills to stand up to Donald Trump?
Texas GOP Chairman James Dickey told reporters today, quote, "The Democratic field continues to move left and our candidates least likely to work with Republicans." Matt?
Jack, you're one of the best. I'm curious what you think about who the front runners are according to the polls and whether or not we'll see them, or should I say win?
Well, yeah, I mean, the polls say former Vice President Joe Biden, Vermont Senator Bernie Sanders, and, of course, former Congressman Beto O'Rourke are the front runners. And I think Beto is going to jump in. There's a lot of pressure for him to get into this race. Same thing with Joe Biden. I think he will enter the race. But some are questioning, actually, whether Bernie Sanders will get into the race. We shall see.
We shall. Thank you very much, Jack. Much appreciated.